You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The United States and 3 European powers urge Iran to return to nuclear talks in Vienna. And Russia reports a record of 1,075 COVID deaths in 24 hours. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq has sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, President of Zambia, on his country's independence anniversary. The United States and 3 European powers agreed yesterday in consultations in Paris on the need for Iran to return quickly to talks amid growing alarm over a delay. Rob Malley, the U.S. envoy on Iran, spoke with his counterparts from Britain, France, and Germany on how diplomacy continues to provide the most effective pathway on Iran. State Department spokesman Ned Price said in Washington that they are united in the belief that negotiations should resume in Vienna as soon as possible, and that they should resume precisely where they left off after the 6th round. The 2015 agreement between Iran and world powers to find a long-term solution to the now 2-decade-old crisis over its controversial nuclear program has been moribund since former U.S. President Donald Trump walked out of the deal in May 2018. Britain's Prince Charles has said that the world has a dangerously narrow window of opportunity to recover from climate change and work towards a sustainable future. Speaking virtually during Saudi Arabia's first ever Saudi Green Initiative Forum, Charles praised the kingdom's plan to reduce its reliance on fossil fuels. Saudi Arabia, one of the world's largest oil producers, announced today it aims to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2060, joining more than 100 countries in a global effort to try and curb man-made climate change. The announcement made by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in brief scripted remarks at the start of the summit was timed to make a splash a little more than a week before the start of the global COP26 climate conference being held in Glasgow, Scotland. The UN Special Envoy for Syria, Geir Pedersen, said yesterday that the 6th round of the Syrian Constitutional Committee had been a big disappointment and didn't find a common path to draft a new constitution or agree on a date for the next round. The drafting committee, comprising of 45 representatives of Syria's government, opposition, and civil society, has a mandate to draw up a new charter leading to UN-supervised elections. Pedersen said during the latest week-long talks in the 2-year effort, the sides presented draft constitutional texts outlining positions on issues including sovereignty, the army, and the rule of the law. Ahmed Kuzbari, the Syrian government representative, said that his delegation had done everything in its power to make this round a success and put the blame squarely on the opposition delegation. Russia today reported a record of 1,075 COVID deaths in just 24 hours as Europe's hardest-hit country with dramatically low vaccination rates braces for the nationwide curbs from next week. Despite multiple pleas from President Vladimir Putin and the availability of the homegrown Sputnik V vaccine, only 36% of Russians are fully vaccinated. According to the fresh government figures, the country saw a record 37,678 new virus cases today. This brings the official death toll to 229,528, the highest on the continent, even as authorities are accused of vastly downplaying the effects of the pandemic. Moscow, the epicenter of Russia's outbreak, will shut non-essential services between October the 28th and November 7th. Putin also ordered a nationwide paid week off starting October the 30th to curb the fast-spreading infections. Still to come on News Bulletin. The International Day for the Elderly is marked during the Heritage Forum in the Wilaya of Al Hamra. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Sultanate of Oman Radio claimed 3 prizes in the 11th Arab Festival for Radio and Television, which was held in Tunisia. The first prize went to Bibasata radio program, which is translated as simply in the Science Made Easy category. And the second prize went to Hulm al-Tariq, which is translated as Road Dream. In addition, the Sultanate of Oman Radio ranked 2nd in the Comprehensive Radio Exchange competition. The interviewer Yusuf bin Ahmed al-Yusfi won the Best Anchor for hosting the Week File TV program, which is broadcasted on a weekly basis by the Sultanate of Oman General TV channel. The Wilaya of Dank in the Governorate of Al-Dhahira hosted the Omani Youth Day activities, which was organized by the Ministry of Culture, Sports and Youth in coordination with the Omani Society for Writers and Literacy. The event included cultural competition and poetry that marked the youth's aspiration for a brighter future, love and allegiance to the country and its leader. The Youth Day activities also addressed the youth's needs and the necessity to build bridges between the youth and various public, civic, and private institutions. In addition to this event, the youth will continue to host other cultural and sports events in celebration of the Omani Youth Day, which will be on the 26th of October. The total number of guests in 3 to 5 stars hotels in the Sultanate of Oman until the end of September 2021 reached more than 800,000 compared to 604,000 guests during the same period in 2020, recording an increase by around 40%. According to statistics issued by the National Center for Statistics and Information, the hotel revenues until the end of September 2021 amounted to more than 59 million Omani riyals, with a decrease by 11.7% compared to 67 million Omani riyals during the same period in 2020. The branch of the Ihsan Association in Al-Dakhiliya Governorate held a heritage forum at the Craft Village in the Wilaya of Al Hamra to celebrate the International Day for the Elderly. More details in the following report.
Heritage Glimpses Forum at the Craft Village in the Wilaya of Al Hamra was held in celebration of the International Day of Older Persons to acknowledge their fundamental roles in every community.
We participated with the initiative of Barakat al-Muslim to focus about the importance of the health of the elderly people.
Around 50 elderly people from different wilayas of Al-Dakhiliya Governorate participated in the event, showcasing various traditional handicrafts to cultivate the importance of preserving these crafts among the young generations.
I think especially in these modern times it's super important to connect to the heritage that cultures have, and how can you better do that than spending time with the elderly, listening to their stories and basically see the old crafts that they are doing. So therefore I think it's very important to connect, just to understand where we come from, to better get an idea of where we want to go to.
Besides promoting the popular works of the senior citizens, the two-day forum shed light on enhancing the culture of caring and empathy for the well-being of the older persons. In every home, there is a priceless treasure. It is the elderly people. Let us support them to prosper and continue their valuable contributions to society. From the Wilaya of Al-Hamra, Saleh Bakhalfan Al-Rahbi, Al-Dakhiliya, Governor.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The United States and 3 European powers urge Iran to return to nuclear talks in Vienna. And Russia reports a record of 1,075 COVID deaths in just 24 hours. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios is good night and stay safe.